It was a different kind of Passover meal, to say the least. I remember right when I sat down, Philip leaned over to me and he whispered, "Thomas, I think something special is going to happen tonight." I just looked at him. I said, "I doubt it." But I was wrong. Jesus got up from the table. He walked over, grabbed a pitcher of water and a towel. I remember at the time thinking to myself, surely he's not going to wash somebody's feet with the foot water. But I was wrong. He knelt down and began to wash Bartholomew's feet. Bart just sat there and didn't say anything. He didn't move. None of us. Jesus finished and he went on to James and Andrew and the rest of us. I remember at the time thinking, this is so strange, but yet so wonderful. I doubt anyone is going to say anything right now. Again, I was wrong. You know who broke the silence? Peter.
No way are you going to wash our feet. That's what I told him. He could wash other people's feet, but he was not going to wash mine. So I looked up and I told him, Jesus, you are the king. You're not going to wash my feet. He looked at me and said, well then, you can't have anything to do with me. I was like, ouch. Okay. You're going to wash my feet. You're going to wash my hands. Wash my whole body if you have to. He looked at me and said, no, your feet will be fine, Peter. And as he was washing all of our feet, Jesus started serving her.
Jesus took some bread and some wine and he blessed it. And he served it to us. He said it was a new covenant to us with his blood. And he said, tonight all of you will lose faith in me. I remember thinking right then, lose faith in you? Never. But I didn't say anything. I just sat there.
I couldn't just sit there. I had to say something. I looked at him and I said, Jesus, I love you. You can count on me. Everybody else may fall, but I will not. He just looked at me and smiled and said, Peter, you would deny me 3 times before the morning's over. Got to me. Next thing I knew, we were wrapping things up and heading out to the garden to pray.
Once we got to the garden, it just got crazy. Jesus asked Peter, James, and myself to go a little further in the garden with him and pray. And we did. We tried. We kept falling asleep and Jesus kept waking us up. I remember one time he said, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. That's true. It's all a blur. And to think, this whole mess got started because of Judas. Did he really think what he was doing was right?
There he is. He's the one that you want. The one praying by himself. Now the others will try to come and create some scene. But the one that I kiss on the cheek, that's the one you want. Now 30 pieces of silver for this right. Is that what we agree upon? 30 pieces? Now forget about the rest, but the one I kiss on the cheek, that's the one you want.
A kiss? Judas betrayed Jesus with a kiss of a friend? Then they got crazy. Peter grabbed a sword and he cuts this guy's ear off, and Jesus, he just reached down, puts it back on the guy's head like nothing happened. And then they took him. I would love to tell you that we fought for him, but we didn't. Everyone ran. I ran. I'm so ashamed.
What have I done? What have I done? Well, I was so stupid. I killed him. I killed him. I have crucified Jesus.
I crucified Jesus. That's what the crowd wanted, and that's what they got. Personally, I don't think that man did anything to deserve that. But I was just a soldier doing my job. When the governor gave his sentence, that's when I went to work. I loved that job. I felt like I was administrating justice every time I nailed someone to a tree. That man didn't deserve that.
Makes no sense. There I was, rotting in jail for stealing, murdering, you name it, not done. I knew the next time I stepped outside that jail cell, that was it. So the guards, they came, and they got me. And they put me next to this guy who'd been beaten to a bloody pulp. And Governor Pilate started asking the crowd, which one of these men do you want me to set free? I mean, it was obvious. The crowd was going to say, let Jesus go. And then I was going to tell them where they could go. But then the crowds, they started chanting, Barabbas. I mean, they were saying my name. They were saying my name over and over again. The guards shoved me into the crowd, and they took this Jesus off to Golgotha. 1 minute, a man marked for death. And the next minute, I'm free. Made no sense. So I followed them all the way to Golgotha.
I was stationed at Golgotha that day. We had just raised the second criminal by the time they brought him to me. I'll never forget the way he looked. He'd been beaten, spit on, whipped. He was unrecognizable as a man. Hideous. What was left of his clothes were stripped off him, and he was thrown down on the cross. And then I went to work. Generally, when you crucify a man, the first hand is the most difficult. The criminal wants to get away, and he fights you, so I'd have 2 soldiers hold him down. This guy, he didn't put up a fight. I just thought he was exhausted. But as an executioner, I've been called every name in the book. I've had men yell at me, plead with me, but I wasn't prepared for what he said to me next. He looked at us. He looked at me, and he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He forgave me.
Forgive them. He said, forgive them. Who's he? Forgive? It should have been me up there. I was the one who was supposed to be hanging on that cross. He took my place. Then I looked up, and I remember he took a deep, agonizing breath. And he said, it is finished. Then, he died.
All of us at Golgotha that day saw that surely this man was the Son of God.